are back for episode number 14 of 0 to 100 in real estate real fast, and we've got a powerhouse in the house. Please welcome Josue or Josh Soto. What's going on, brother?
What's up, James? Good morning. How are you, man?
You know how it is, man. We're getting up, getting it cranking. What's going on with you?
Same thing, man. I've been up super early, man. Working on some. I work with investors a lot, man. So I had some comps I had to run for an investment property that they're interested in purchasing, and got that done. And following up on some of my CRM manager, some leads, and making sure that he's handling everything between the ISAs and my agents and everyone else, man. So I had to make sure that they were getting stuff done, man. You know how it is, early morning.
Absolutely. It's crazy how this business evolves, right? Like we go from, hunting down, trying to figure out how to find a buyer, then how to find them a house. And then, okay, now later on, they need to sell that house. We got to learn that process. And you keep going all the way down. All of a sudden, this business breaks down into all sorts of little ways, don't it?
Yeah, man, it really does, man. It's like, it's like I try to teach my agents, man. The more you learn about this business, the better it is for you, man. There's so much to learn in this business, and there's so many different angles and different perspectives you have to go in order for you to learn this business, man. And soak it all in, man. I try to teach them everything, and it's important. When I think back, sometimes, James, is that I came into this business in 2006 when the market was fairly pretty good, and then 2 years later, man, the crash hit. And to be honest with you, man, I think that to me it was a learning curve for us. We were able to understand both markets, hot market and a crash market, a recession market, and to me, it was a blessing, man. I mean, that's why I think that one of the things that we've learned through all those times is that the more you learn from this business, the different parts of different transactions you can. Rebecca and I went from regular sales to BPOs, from BPOs to REOs, from REOs to short sales. So we learned every part of this business, man. And to us, it's like to me, it doesn't. It's the more you can learn about this business, the better it is, man. Seriously.
What we're like that really gets us onto like a really good little segue is, most agents that are going to watch us, including myself, right? We haven't really been through that, right? Like we haven't been through that major shift. That wasn't like hey, like a slight shift. Like right now you're trying to find more sellers and buyers. That
Yeah.
was a business change. Like what were some of the things that helped you through that? Like what were some of the mindset shifts and what was the biggest thing that helped you through that period?
To be honest with you, the biggest shift is like I can recommend everyone is align yourself with someone that has been through that part of the business already. And we were blessed with someone that was able to, honestly, man, it was like I always call him my real estate angel, man. And he believed in me, and I was like, really, man. And he took me under his arms, and he said, "This is the way you do this. This is the way you do this." And he was basically in a different part of the industry, but he had so many leads that he couldn't handle them, so he would just refer them out to me, and he was just. I learned a lot, man. I learned a lot from him in the sense when it comes to short sales, man. I mean, when I think back, man, we probably processed somewhere between 200 to 400 short sales in 2 or 3 years, man. Seriously. So we learned the ins and outs of short sales, negotiations, everything, man. And I really truly believe that my negotiation skills got better work doing short sales. Seriously, when you're able to work those with asset managers in between, and making sure that everything was done correctly and all of the paperwork. I mean, I'm talking back then, man, it was 100 to 200 pages. We had to fax over it. There was no like scanners. Everything was fax, man.
Going
It
back to the
was
facts, maybe.
it was like faxing tax, bank statements, IRS returns, tax returns. Man, it was. I mean, it was just nothing but fax, man. So you had to make sure that that asset manager received it. The guy in charge of that file, we had to follow up on it, tell him, here's the BPOs, this is what we're looking at. Here's what came in. Here's what the value is, and they were like, no, this is what it's worth. It was just a lot of negotiation back and forth doing BPOs. That's when we really got really good at doing BPOs, especially Rebecca. I mean, she was phenomenal doing BPOs. So to me, I never looked at it as a tough market. I always look at it as a learning experience. So when you're able to confront something like that in order for you to grow your business, to me, it was like a blessing, man. We had some great years, I'll be honest with you. And from there, Rebecca, I remember she got her first assignment, her REO assignment. And dude, it was just crazy, man. It was just like from there, we ended up doing like close to 100 REOs in about a year and a half. So we got so good at it that, man, we were working at one time. If I remember, I think she was working with like 13, 16 RE asset managers at one time, man. So it's just, I can tell you this right now. When they're saying that, I think some of the, especially new agents, like you just asked the question, that I always recommend, what, find yourself a mentor, find yourself a coach, someone that's been through where you want to go. It's important. I think that that was one of the biggest. I always say that we're like late bloomers. I don't know why we say it, but it's true. I mean, we came into this business and we were probably in our, wow, man, I think 30s. 30 something, yeah, late mid 30s. And even through that, we learned so much because we dove deep into it. It's like no going back. We went all in. And I can tell you this right now: as tough as it is, what you're going through, man, you got to stick to it, man. If you believe in yourself and you believe where you want to go, you got to go. You got to put yourself through hard. Not everything's going to come to you easy, James. And you know that. You got to learn how to pivot, shift, and that's why when all this happened with COVID and everything, man, I wasn't even phased. I told my agents, they were like, "Oh, what do you think is going to happen now?" I'm like, "Nothing, man. We're just going to continue doing business the way we are." And sure enough, man, we had some great, phenomenal years. So that's what I highly recommend, James. Honestly.
I love it. I love it. And I think it's a good segue, right? So like we get to take all that knowledge, everything that you've built through all that, and we're gonna parachute you in, right? Like we're gonna go send you to another market. You're starting brand new. You don't know no one, right? What would you do to get from 0 to 100,000 as fast as possible?
I would tell you, look for a top producing team. Look for a top producing team in your area. Find someone that where you're at and where you want to go, team wise. Align yourself with them, because let me tell you, I mean, if there's one thing that I've learned, that being part of a team, you can get somewhere faster. You can grow faster. Because you have these leaders in place already that are actually going to take you to where you want to go. When you look at some of my team members and everything, the first thing they said was, "No, man, we want to be with you because we want to learn everything from you." And when you come to this business, when you want to learn real estate as a whole, as a professional, as a profession, you have to understand that you have to surround yourself with leaders and agents and team CEOs or leaders that have been there before. One of the biggest mistakes I see, James, in our industry is that it comes a point that some people come in here thinking they know it all, which is nothing wrong with that. Listen, man, I praise you, man. I'm here for you. I'm a clap for you because I want them to succeed. I'll be honest with you. That's one thing that I can tell everyone. If there's something that I can tell everyone out of this, is that, listen, man, no matter what, you clap on. We're all in the same industry here, man. Let's lift each other up. Let's help each other. It's important. That's one of the things that why Rebecca and I are so passionate about helping other real estate agents and helping our team members and even helping our partners, because I understand when you're when you're coming into this business, James, how hard it can be, how difficult it can be. So that's why we pour so much into our friends, our partners, our real estate agents, does our colleagues. I mean, you know this already. We're not afraid, man, because at the end of the day, you know, there's a fine line between you being a leader and you being a legacy and you leaving a legacy for everyone that knew who you were. You know what I'm talking about? There's a
Yep.
big difference, man. Anyone can be a leader, but tell me what you're giving back. Tell me what you've given back, how much you want to give back. Tell me where you want to go. Tell me when something happens to you now, what type of what do you got to what do you want to be remembered by? You know what I'm talking about? So I always tell everyone that, to me, you know what? We all are in this business to make money. Let's be honest with you. But think about it this way, James. If we're not here today, are people going to remember us by the money we made, or what we left into what we gave back to our community? That's it. That's what it is, man. You know,
100%,
so
100%. And there's
you
one
know,
thing, so like I started where you're talking, right? I started with a team. And one thing for anybody that's watching this and is like, yes, that they're gonna take that avenue. You really want to vet out what that looks like, right? Like what is it, what is that team going to do for you to start, right? Like what are your expectations, what are their expectations? But there's a part here that you don't think of when you join a team. And hey guys, like what's phase 2 or phase 3? Like when it's time for me to go on my own, what is that really going to look like? Right?
exactly.
Is you're talking about leadership, like that's that segue, right? Where like I know that you're like this, we've had these conversations before. Our teams are built to accelerate, right? Like we just want to we want to get them running. We want to give them the tools, the tactics. We need to give them everything they need to succeed. But then when it's time to let that birdie fly, right? We want to make sure that we are giving them everything that they need to be able to fly, like everything when
Absolutely.
they launch. And you
Well,
know,
it's
as I do, a lot of teams kind of just drop you. Like, oh, you're leaving the team, email goes off, leads go off. And
yeah.
meanwhile, like you're out here in the middle of nowhere, you don't have a brand and you don't know how to market.
And I'm glad that's a great topic that you just brought up, James, because that is so true what you just said. You know what? At the end of the day, man, that's when we as true leaders have to really encourage them and say, hey, you know what? I'm so proud of you. I love that you're taking this leap of faith, man. And whatever you need, I'm here for you.
Right.
Even when I was exactly, man, even when Rebecca and I own our own brokerage, there were agents that really wanted to go on their own, man. Yo, I was at peace with that decision. I really was. I don't know why. I never took it personal, because at the end of the day, when you have that type of mindset, and when you take things so personal like that, then really, what is your purpose? What are you doing? You know, are you leading by example, or now you're just basically pouring in hatred to someone? You know what I'm talking about? You can't do that, man. You got to be able to accept it for what it is, and it's not that you don't have to take care of a couple things here and there, you know what I'm saying, to make sure you protect yourself. Of course, I truly understand that. But at the same token, James, and if we're able to take that mindset and be able to continue growing, not only our team members, but everyone around us, then we all grow together. When you have a community, you know, when you have this community that we all understand and respect one another, and we want to help each other out, we want to get to that 0 to 100, then it all takes, listen, it takes an army for us, not one person, man. So if we all come together and we all understand the purpose of why we're doing this, then things will become so much easier to understand, and really you got a clearer vision of where you want to go.
100%, man. And this ties in a little bit to what you were talking about before, right? Like, why are we here? Like, what when we're, I mean, one day we're going to be dust, and when we're dust, what are we going to leave behind? And one of the things I've always been attracted to you and Rebecca about is that your mission revolves. The result and the way I study you guys is look at the leaders that you're producing. I know y'all are leaders, right? And I know you guys come from the heart. But when I watch you guys and I see the leaders that you're producing, that you're helping build, that's the legacy. It's
Absolutely.
powerful, man.
Absolutely, man. Thanks, James. And you know how much, you know what it is. I can tell you this right now. Here's 3 words: when you love what you do, it never feels like work anymore, man. When you're able to pour into someone and really see the progression and the growth in that person, and just see how passionate and how much they love what they're doing, man, that's my satisfaction, dude. It's not even about the money, man. Seriously. It's about seeing them grow. And I'm like, damn, I gave about 10, 20% into that person to see where they're at right now. Dude, that's all that matters, man. I've mentored one of the things that I tell you, I've mentored real estate agents that I weren't even part of my brokerage, man. It's because
Yep.
I wanted them to succeed. I mean, and I'll tell you this, that people are like, sometimes like, man, but they don't even work for you. Like that's okay, man. That's okay. It doesn't matter. Sometimes it really doesn't matter when it comes to that. To me, it's like I feel like I've been blessed because of the heart and the desire that we have, Rebecca and I have to help other people, and that's what matters to me, man. That's who I am.
100%, man. 100%. The money can get boring, but the fulfillment of watching somebody else succeed that wasn't in success when they came in
Yeah,
and being a small part of that,
that's all that matters, man. That's all that
that's it.
matters. At the end of the day, you feel like you've done your job, man, and that's what matters. It doesn't. Even yourself, James. I mean, we've gotten on calls a couple times and we've spoken and all that stuff. And I'm a very transparent person. You know how it is, James. I'm gonna tell you how things
100%.
should be approached. And I'm a great listener when it comes to understanding how what you're going through too. And I try to do as best as I can as a friend. Now we're talking friends to really understand and dive deep into how can I help you with what you're going through. And I think that if everyone in this real estate industry would take the same approach right now, man, honestly, we need unity right now, especially what we're going through right now. I mean, our country, when you think about it, there are only 650,000 homes on the market right now, James. I'm gonna say that number again: 650,000, and we have over 3 million agents in the United States right now. That's the market that we're in right now. So think about it. When you're able to build those relationships, build those connections with those listing agents that may have some of those homes, what do you think they're going to look at when you submit an offer? They're going to come back to you and say, "Yo, I remember this. I remember James, great guy. Hey, tell me a little bit about your buyers. It's not. I'm not saying it's going to work all the time, but the point is you have that relationship already, and that's where it comes in. You know, this is not only about one brokerage or this brokerage is that brokerage. No, man, this is a community as a whole, man. Let's work together. Let's see how we can get this done. You know.
That was one of the like when I came over here, the one of the biggest mind blowers to me, and I don't think that it's really over here. It really just happens that there was more of this type of person here that is a higher earner, is living in that abundance mind state. But that's what it was when I came, was people weren't scared to share, right? And I don't want to say it's exclusive, just like we have a great group, right? We are super
Yeah.
blessed to have our group. But I do think that there's a certain echelon when you get past a certain point where people understand that the abundance doesn't run out, right? So like
Yeah.
that, setting that standard forward where you are constantly sharing the things that help other people grow regardless of their brokerage. Maybe they're in a different, our principles work in any business, right?
Sure.
So I love that about all of us, right? Like, and it's something that I was taught when I came in here, right? It was something I had inside of me, and I wanted to be that way, but I'm watching all the other real estate agents, and they're all like,
Yeah, yeah, and that's how it was. I'll be honest with you. That's how it was. I mean, I remember coming in 2006. That's how it was, man. Back then, I mean, everyone kept to themselves. Everyone was like this. There were only several, and I can tell you that maybe 2 to 4 top REO agents in my area, and you know who they were because they had them all. You understand? But you know what? We never gave up. We're like, yo, we're gonna get in there. You know what I'm talking about? And that's where you have to have full confidence in yourself one day and say, I'm gonna be part of that. I want, even if I get 1 out of 10, but I'm getting 1 out of 10, that multiplies to 12 a year. You understand? So you have to have that mindset and believe in yourself. It all starts with us, within ourselves.
yep,
And if you are able to believe in yourself and understand that it's important for you to really get where you want to go, and that's when we go back to the question that you asked, from 0 to 100. Well, that's how we got from 0 to 100. We were never stopping at one. We kept moving. We kept moving. We kept pushing ourselves. I remember those sleepless nights, man, that we had. Like 10 short sales that we had to follow through. It was tough, man. I remember those days that when we had 10 closings and all of a sudden you went to closing and none of them closed because either one lost their job, the house never appraised. I mean, that was a tough market, man. But at the same token, it was a learning experience for all of for especially for me and Rebecca. I speak on my behalf now, and I don't regret it. I don't regret it. I always feel like when you go through those seasons, it's because God is building you to where you want to go. That's it.
100%. And you kind of threw out there the biggest magic pill that there could be, and that's that there ain't a magic pill. You're gonna pick your avenue and you're gonna
Yeah,
do it. And you're gonna do it
yeah,
again, and you're gonna do it again, you're gonna do it again, you're gonna do it again. I mean, for me, when like yours was right there, you broke it down. When I came on, my epiphany moment is when my team leader, I was looking at leaving my team, and my team leader said, James, like I understand what you're doing here, but have you done what I asked you to do? Like, have you actually followed the system, done what I asked you to do? I said, no. So the next month, I made 1,500 phone calls in the month. Lo
excellent.
and behold, right? I put four under contract. Like,
Yeah. That's a good ratio, man.
yeah, like
Yeah,
when
that's
you,
really good.
well, it's just the work though, right?
Yeah,
Like
man.
you put
But
that work in, it's amazing. It shows up.
absolutely, and that's where I think that what I see in our industry right now is that everyone wants to be a realtor, but they don't understand the work that you got to put in to be a realtor. And I'm not being critical, please don't take it personal. I'm just being honest. You got to be able to be the first one up every morning, the first one. You got to know what you're doing every single day. Like you and I were just discussing on broadcast. We already had our before we even got on here. We had other things we had to take care of before we got on this live. So you got to follow that calendar. One of the things that I can tell you that I learned from my own personal wife was, man, if you ain't got it on the calendar, then it doesn't mean anything. And it's true. Then there was someone that said, if you're not making any money, show me your calendar and I can tell you where you're failing at. That's the
Wow.
truth. That's the
All right.
whole truth right there, man. Someone said that to me. I was like, whoa, that was deep right there, man. Show me your calendar and I'll tell you where you're at. And it's so true, man. You gotta have a certain schedule that you're following every single year. Not only for you, but your family. The majority of us have wives or girlfriends or kids. You gotta be able to understand that this is a long process that you're going through, man. And not only that, this involves your family also. So everyone has to be involved and understand, it takes time for everything to work together, to come together.
And it takes, so like the calendar just now, and you touched on it, but like I feel like it's the discipline and commitment too. Like, dude, we live in a distraction business. Like,
Yeah,
walk through just got moved. Like, we've got this going on. Walk through the builder calls, and we need to walk through at 11. Shit, you need to move that to 12, right? Like, I'm
yeah,
committed. This is
yeah,
happening, right? This isn't being moved. Same thing, but here's where, like, this is fun, right? Like, I really love this. Let's talk about something that I don't like, and I think a lot of people don't like, but
man.
we have to stay disciplined, right? If I've got a block on my calendar where I'm going to make phone calls, um,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
right?
And that's one thing is that I've learned. I was doing it on my own, but it got to the point that it's okay to hire out to do it for you. But that's where I want to touch on right now. When I was handling it on my own, oh, it was great. But when it started becoming a little stressful, overwhelming, then it's time for you to start moving your business to someone else. And what I mean by that is start leveraging people that are you can train and fully use and hire them to do exactly what you're doing. And that's where I come in right now. I'm working with I have around 8 to 10 ISAs that I'm working with right now, and I have a CRM manager that my CRM manager responsibility is to basically handle all those leads that are coming in to make sure those ISAs are converting those leads, setting the appointments, making sure the appointments they're getting the welcome video from me, and then from there he handles it between myself and my team members and making sure that they're following up. They did their video, they welcomed them, did the calls. So this is a process, man. It's a system. So everything is systems, and I tell you, for years I struggled with that because I ain't never had a system until like 3 or 4 years ago that I started understanding how important it is for you to have a system. And once I dove deep in and I started learning from other partners and other just doing my own homework, listening to getting in those rooms, James, you know what rooms they are, getting in these rooms and saying, I need to go in there, even if it hurts my pockets, but you got to get in there because you know what? These are the people that are already doing it. You know that? And I was blown away because I never even thought I can create my own ISA playbook, and I did, man. I got right now. I have my own ISA playbook that all my ISAs have to follow. My CRM guy, I have a CRM manager playbook that he has to follow. And so these are the things that I tell you this right now. You know, I would have never probably even thought about if I really surround myself and got myself into those rooms where these partners and these leaders are already there. You got to be it. And we go back to what I said. You want to go 0 to 100, you need to get with the people that are already doing it. There's no way. You know, I know that, you know what? If you can do this on your own, then man, I commend you. Congratulations, because I truly, truly am happy for you. But I can tell you this right now. For some reason, NAR says that only the average real estate agent in the U.S. right now, they only make $30,000. There's a reason for that, you know. So
That's like in my heart, there was two stats of where I came up with this show. I was really looking for like what I could do, and that was one of them, right? I was just shocked. I'm like, that's like four houses,
yeah,
and the other one was the failure rate, right? 78% in the first year, 87% in the first 2 years.
yes,
Like, no, like do anything. Just call me. Like literally, I don't care if you don't want to join my team, whatever. You need a starter pack of like what are the action steps I need to take for the next 30 days. Call me, please, because this is a
absolutely.
this is about changing lives, man. Like when you come into this and you go from a job where you're making 30, 40, 50,000 a year, like you're there is no limit to what you can accomplish inside of real estate. And then once
Absolutely.
you get deeper there, and then all of a sudden you unlock things outside of real estate, which I know that you and Rebecca have really started working on a lot of things outside of real estate over the last year.
Yeah.
That oh, all right. So we kind of got into nerd talk a little bit there. Like, and we're gonna go back a little bit. We got into nerd talk. So
Yeah.
inside sales agent ISA. Now we've got systems and we've got employees that are there. So let's go to transaction coordinator and ISA because I feel like these two kind of like these are like
Anyhow,
early steps of scale. Which one goes first?
transaction coordinator. PC is automatically the first thing you need to hire. Without a doubt, let me tell you, I found myself when I made the transaction because Rebecca and I used to handle everything on our own. I was one of the, I always felt like I was a jack of trades. Being transparent, you know how I am, James. And
Yep.
it wasn't until I realized that, man, when I made this when we transitioned from my own brokerage to EXP, I had about 20 files that I had to move over, from my company to to EXP. At that same moment, we were traveling. I had a speaking engagement, I think in DC, and then from there I went straight to Puerto Rico. When I landed in Puerto Rico, dude, I had my sellers like, hey, where's my listing? What's going on? Man, and it wasn't until like years prior to this. Let me go back. I had a TC that was recommended to me highly, but sometimes just yourself, and I'm being very honest with everyone.
You
I
ain't
want you
ready.
to know because the reason I'm saying this because I don't want you to go through this. I ignored him, spoke to him, interviewed him, loved him, never used him. And Rebecca, I remember I went up to the hotel room and she was like, "What's going on?" I said, "Oh my God, I got all these files. I got these people on me, these people on me." She sits down, she looks at me, she goes, "Oh, so now it's time to let go." I was like, "What?" She goes, "Pull your phone out. You know what you need to do. Dial that number right now." And I'm gonna tell you this right now. Those are the only words my wife, my partner, only told me. That was the only thing she said. And I sat there and I'm like, "Wow, she's right." I grabbed the phone. He says, "Give me all the files. Give me access to this. Give me access to that, and I'll take care of it." Dude, do you believe within less than 2 days, everything was done for me, man? That's the importance of Stop thinking about the money. Think about how quick you can get things done to move on to your next file, your next client, your next client, your next client. And I can tell you this right now, my TC is slash my assistant. I mean, he is, without him, I am nothing right now. I'll be honest with you, because this guy is amazing. You know, I would tell everyone, if you're looking, if your next hire has to be a TC. When you're getting to the point that you're doing 15, 20 deals, you need to hire a TC automatically. I'm going to be honest with you. Get them started. I recommend
Well,
it from the beginning. My
well,
team
break
members,
down. Go ahead. Go ahead. No, no, finish.
if you're part of my team, you have to use our TC. Without, there's no negotiating there. Why? Because I need my team members to focus on working with their buyers, working with their sales. They need to focus on the income part of it. Let them. You know what? If you're afraid to give up $250 at closing, $250 at closing, that's it. And they're taking care of your paperwork from beginning to end, then tell me, are you worth $250 or you're worth $2,000 an hour? Let's talk about that.
That's what I'm talking about right there. Is like, to me, I think there's an aspect of this that like you learn later on, but you might as well learn it now. So anybody watching this, go to predictablesuccess.com. Just go over there, take the styles quiz, right? And learn where you sit in these four categories: visionary, operator, processor, and synergist.
Yeah.
Because likelihood is that you're going to be a visionary or an operator, but you
Yeah.
ain't a processor. So why you processing? I know that
Yeah.
we want to make sure everything happens perfect. And if I hand it over to this person's better than you at it, they're better than you at it, and they're cheaper than you at it.
Absolutely.
Let's
And I
fucking
tell you
roll.
this, and all my team members and some of my, even my own partners, right now, they have started. I started. That was the first thing I told them. What do you need? You know, I sit down with them. I ask them, "Oh, tell me where you're at. Where do you want to go?" Tell them this is the first thing you need to do. And let me tell you, 99.9% of them are like, "Thank you so much. You don't understand. This guy have saved my life." I said, "I'm telling you, man. You don't like. I try. Well, you know how it is. I have other responsibilities that Rebecca and I have. Not only with our partners, but we're part of an organization that's nationwide, and sometimes what they need is there and all that stuff. But now I can travel at peace knowing that I have my PC, I have my systems in place. Sometimes I feel like, man, what I'm doing next, you know what I'm talking about? So I feel like I have to do more work because I got to put more in.
Yep.
But that's okay, because at the end of the day, you know that everything is working exactly how you want it at the moment. And let me tell you, not everything is beautiful. I'll be honest with you. There's things that I have to take a step back and say, yo, what's going on here? Let's talk about this. This doesn't look right to me. Why? What's going on with these numbers? So
I want to segue real quick. Good morning, Melissa. And guys, if you're on here and you have any questions that you guys want to ask, please drop them in the chat. We'll get them answered right here live. We're kind of segueing here, and some of this stuff, like the TC, I feel like is big and 0 to 100. I feel like the ISA comes into play. It could really come into play at like 70, 80. Like when you're on that trajectory, like you're at like you're passing 5,000 a month. Then all of a
yes,
sudden, like that thought of an ISA can come into play, because like at that point, so if you're at 5,000 a month, is you need a little more than that. Like you need to be
yeah,
closing 2 a month. If you're closing 2 a month, then you're starting to get like in this market, you're a squirrel, man. You get someone who's a seller, you got to book that appointment today, because guess what? There's
I,
gonna be somebody else
I'm
calling them today.
gonna narrow it down easier. If you're getting 100 leads a month from your CRMs or wherever your lead source is, you need an ISA. Point blank. That's
Yep.
it. Because the average ISA right now can, from what I'm understanding, the average ISA right now can only handle 100 leads a month. That's it. One. You know, so you always got to keep that in mind.
Jen's sitting over here. She handles our ISA work, and I'm laughing because I'm like, how many leads does Jen have a month? She's taking in like 200 leads a month.
No, no, no. I have to get on a call with Jen. That's it. Cutting you off, James.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to find me another Jen.
Yeah.
I don't know
No,
if
I'm
I could ever
serious.
do that.
And that's why I realized that my CRM, or I can tell you this right now. I would tell you this, and I'm a short. I don't know if I should go off of this, but I would move her to the CRM manager and then hire an ISA. That way she could still be managing the ISA and looking everything over. That's what I would do.
I think that's something that I kind of want to explore. Some of the things that we're going to be shifting towards, like, makes it so that having a second ISA is going to be needed anyways.
Yeah,
And I'll be honest, managing a CRM properly, that's actually a niche market. Like there
it
are
is.
not a whole lot of, like, I've looked for that, and there's not a whole lot of people that really have that dialed in. Like everyone has a different way, which
Yeah.
they're all successful, but like you need somebody who's very analytical. Like, here's the numbers,
Well,
here's the
you need a
results.
data guy. Yeah, you need a
Yeah.
data manager.
Yep.
And that's why I meet with my data manager once a week, man, just to go over numbers. But I can tell you this right now: the way it really depends how you set your systems up. I mean, you and I have spoken on camera how I kind of set my systems up because I want to make sure that that lead is being hit at all aspects right as soon as it comes in. You know,
Plants in air.
because, yeah, because at the end of the day, that's when you start scrubbing them early in the game. You know, so that's why I know it's like, I always tell everyone this: for every 100 lead, if you can convert 1 to 2% out of 100, then you're doing good. I'll be
Yep.
honest with you. Hey, if you do more than that, you're great. But that's the
Yep.
average. That's nation. That's worldwide. I don't care who it is. So at first I thought that was a low number, but when I started doing my research and really understanding and listening and getting in these rooms with some of these top major producers, that's what they're all saying. Exactly.
100%. And the one thing that gets in the way is kind of what our businesses are almost like. I feel like the shift that I've seen, even since I've been here, but from hearing from some of the more seasoned real estate agents, the referral game is what everybody was built on. And what's changed here in the last 5 to 10 years is that technology is beating the referral to the punch.
It
You're
is.
able to we're able to put offers in front of people where they're consuming our offer. We build rapport, we build trust. We're actually getting in there before they ever even picked up the phone call to consider buying that next house or to consider selling that house. And if
Yeah.
you fall behind on that curve, you're going to be a dinosaur.
No, and that's exactly how it was because, and I'll be the first one to tell you, I used to run my business. It was fully referral business. I'll
Yep.
be honest with you. My database, remember, it goes back 16 years, and it's still strong as it ever was. It will be. But at the same token, I had to shift my mindset and say, okay, wait a minute. And I heard one of the speakers say, you know what? If you're gonna sit here and tell me you run your business through just referrals, you full of crap. Like straight up said it on the stage like that. Because it ain't only that. You know what I'm talking about? And it's true. It's true. You have to have that open mind to understand that there's more than just referrals, man. You want to scale your business, you gotta go. You can't just rely on referral. Listen, I know agents out there that are freaking killing it. They're successful when it comes to referrals, and I'm proud. And that's excellent. And I was one of them. But at the same token, in order for me to scale my business and build my team, I had to look at other perspectives, other options, and I did. And it's been great.
And that's just logical. Like, you need to stay in touch. You need to build your referrals, right? You need to build your relationships with your clients existing and even before they get there. But here's the thing is that no matter what, how, you could have the perfect referral game. You have the perfect referral game. Their cousin's going to get a real estate license. Their daughter's going to get a real estate license. They're going to go to dinner one night and really meet somebody that they like that has a real estate license and drop some value on them. You're going to lose some of them referrals no matter what. Let's
You are.
create something that's more predictable. The other side of that is you can't predict it. Like,
Yeah.
1 month I could get 8 referrals, and then I might not get a referral for 3 months,
I
right?
and I'm gonna share this with you. And then I had a conversation with one of my closest buddies, right? And he said something, and I'm like, I asked him, I said, dude, how is it that you did 3,600 transactions this year? Let me repeat myself: 3,600 transactions, man. This guy runs an operation that's like, it's just ridiculous. And he says, you want to know something, Josue? I'm gonna tell you what I did. I knew 10 years ago that I was gonna be where I was at. I built those relationships that I knew I had. systems in place that I knew that those homes that I sold those homeowners 10 years ago were going to buy from me 5 years ago. Then they were going to buy this from me. Then they were going to buy this, and it was just going to scale up. And I was like, whoa, I never thought about that. But now you can see why he's 3,600 deals in.
Yep.
He thought about this 10 years ago. And I thought that was genius, man, just to hear that from him. I was like, wow. And it's true because everyone says the same thing to Rebecca and I, like, dude, how is it you guys got clients out coming out of anywhere? 16 years of a database that I got there. And I'm gonna tell you this right now, for every new agent that's closing a deal right now, you need to expect, and I tell this to my agents and all my partners, if you close a deal today, you have to understand that from that one deal, you need to expect 5 deals from that one coming up. And this is where you stay in front of your clients. Wish them a happy birthday. Tell them how your home is doing. Call them during COVID and say, hey, how are you doing? How are you and your family? That's all they need to hear from you guys. That's all. Someone was telling me, oh, how did you keep up your business and all? I said, I was calling people. I was calling my partners. I was calling agents. I was calling some of my past clients and I just wanted to know how they were doing. Because let's be honest with you, man, COVID was a shocker to every one of us, man. And that was something that was uncontrollable. We had no control of that. That was just something that happened, and it came out of nowhere. So, I think that's all you need, man. I think sometimes people make dialing really harder than what it is, man. It's building relationships, man. When you're able to build that relationship to the phone, you're able to do a video and say, hey, how are you, James? Just following up with you. How are you and your family during these times? How can I help you? Do you need anything? Please feel free to reach out. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. That's it.
That's fire.
You know?
Hey, man, I appreciate you being here and taking this time. I know how busy you are. I know everything that you've got going on, and you taking the time to contribute towards our community over here is massive, dude. I appreciate that. And
Pleasure, man.
I want to ask you a pretty big question, right? So, what was the biggest problem that you were experiencing in your real estate business, and what did EXP do to solve it?
My biggest problem being a broker and a business owner was my exit strategy. I never had one. Let's be honest with you. Being in this business 16 years, and I'm at an age where I'm at right now. I can't keep selling all my life, man. Talking about that, I needed an exit strategy, and I needed something that was able going to be something sustainable. I guess that's the word, sustainability, and not only for me, for my team members, for my partners, and I couldn't offer that to them. I didn't have it. So it wasn't until I was able to understand the model, the purpose of what EXP has, and the partners that we have, and it was a no brainer for me, man. I mean, until this day, I always feel like, you know, that I'm a believer, so I feel like God sent these angels all to us, man, 231 months ago. And I say all of us because it's all of us together. And it's been a blessing, man. I'll be honest with you. You and I both know. Rebecca and I, we have over 300 partners right now. We're over 300 partners, and probably by the end of the year, our goal is to have over 500. We're in 6 countries right now, 7, 8 states, and most important is that we're changing lives, man. That's the most important thing. If I'm able, and I'm passionate about doing that. So now I feel more free to be able to help more people, expand, and really build more leaders that are hungry and willing and ready to grow their business, but then grow other leaders. When you're able to take your mindset, you ever take when you're able to take everything out for you and pour it into someone else, man, it feels great to do that. So
It's a lot of fun too. It's a lot of fun, ain't it?
it is. It's great. It's enjoyable.
Hey, man. Again, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate everything you're doing, and Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'm going to see you. Where am I going to see you? Because I'm sure I'm going to see you here shortly. I know we got build, but that's a little ways out. What do we got?
Yeah,
Shareholder?
yeah, we'll be in shareholders. Yup, in June. Yep. So I'll be in. We just finalized our stuff yesterday for shareholders, so we'll be there. Absolutely, man. I'm hoping that you and your wife will be there, and spend some time with you guys, man. And looking forward to it, man. I always appreciate spending time with my friends and my partners, and just having those moments together, man. Even over lunch, breakfast, man. Those are just, man. I can't even tell you. It's just dropping bombs at the
Cabo was a
table.
lot of fun.
Yeah, man. I tell you, when we all got together that breakfast, man, that morning, man, it was just like, man, wow. And it's funny because Bobby said it best. He said, man, when you're able to sit at that table and just pull your chair up and just listen to some of these people and some of my partners go tell their stories, and man, it's impactful, man. When you think about it, man, when you're able to pour back into your community and your friends, man, it's just, man, it's a lot of fun, man. It's enjoyable. I love it.
Hell yeah. We're going to leave on that note, man. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being episode 14. And I think we'll have you back on. Once we get through 52, I want to go back and I'm probably going to shift the whole mindset, but I'll definitely have you back on this.
Nah, absolutely, man. Let's go for it, man. Thank you so much, James. Big hug to you and your family.
Thank you too.